Oh, hi there. You're listening and or watching to North of Weatherfield, a Canadian Coronation Street podcast.
And this week we are talking about episodes that aired in Canada from March 25th to March 29th. So if you haven't seen them yet, you probably don't want to watch or listen to this.
Avert your eyes and ears if you haven't watched yet. And oh, by the way, my name's Brittlestar.
My name's Shannon.
Not really, though. Our real names this week are...
I'm going to be Yasmeen because then I can call you Stew. Would hang off you, Stew. Stew. Oh, but no, you have to look at me, Stew. That'd be very intense. Very intense. Stew.
I'm going to be Bobby this week. Joe, lovely jubbly, bobbly wobbly, some other cheeky chappy. That's all I got.
Okay.
Should we just play the theme?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. Ready? Speaks to my soul.
So this week we are going to be talking about Steve and Tommy O, Lauren, Bobby and Roy.
Yeah.
Ty, Fizz, Evelyn and Cassie. Eliza, Yasmeen, Stu and Dom. Bethany and Daniel. Liam, Dylan and Mason. And Sarah, Adam, Damon and Harvey.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So where do you want to start?
So we're going to start with Steve and Tommy O. Tracy doesn't even deserve to be in the title names of that.
No, because she wasn't really in this.
I don't actually even know if she made it on camera this week.
Okay.
But so I think it was Kev. Someone told Steve that he overheard that Tommy O was going to be, had signed a contract and was headed to Madrid.
To Spain.
To Spain.
To
not
coach.
No Real Madrid.
No.
I think just
a coach.
Just a faux Madrid.
Yeah.
Yes. And so Steve decides, I'm going to be the one to tell Tracy.
Yeah.
Because then she's going to be all ticked off at Tommy.
Yeah.
Because he won't have told her. So that's his plan. He's like, this is what I'm going to do. Meantime, Tommy and Tracy are out for lovely dinners.
Yeah.
But Steve has decided he can't support County anymore.
Yeah.
Because County are going to be making I don't know, like a Tommy O stadium or something. I can't remember. Some kind of tribute.
Oh, there's going to be, they're going to name some part of the stadium.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So he's getting rid of all of his County merch.
Yeah.
But being a clever man, he's not just throwing it out.
No.
He's going to sell it. Because you need to get the £5 you get.
It was Amy who suggested that he saw it, right?
I can't remember.
I believe it was.
Oh, well, she's clever too.
She's clever.
So he decided he needs to find a new team to support.
Yeah.
And I did quite enjoy this little storyline because, first of all, I quite enjoyed the number of people going, are you allowed to do that?
Yeah. Like all the different characters at just different levels, just
Yes.
saying, are we even allowed to change teams?
Yeah. Yeah. So I liked him going through all the teams he was going to have to choose between. And I like that for ages they were ignoring the fact that Manchester has Manchester United and City.
Man City.
Who are both massive.
Yeah.
So that was quite entertaining. I also like that they didn't name those teams and they also didn't even call it the Premier League. They just called it the Prem.
The Prem.
Because they're like, we're staying out of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tim ends up accidentally getting roped into perhaps having to support another team.
Yes.
But I think my favorite thing was Tommy O strolls into the pub. Why he goes in there when Tracy's not with him, I don't know.
The brass neck on that guy.
Read the neighborhood, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But Tim tells him that Steve tells him that Steve is looking for a new team to support. And I think my favorite thing was how to Tommy O, that was the worst thing that he had done to Steve was by making him lose his faith in supporting County.
Yeah.
It's like there's no mention of Tracy.
No, never mind your marriage.
Yeah.
I made you break up with your team.
Yeah. And I realized that is the real transgression.
It really is. I agree. I totally agree. Yeah. I did enjoyed the team choosing and all that kind of stuff as well. I also like the fact that Steve just assumed that Tim was going to choose a new team at the same time, and Tim's like, no, there's no need for that kind of rash action.
Yeah. I also did want to say that Steve and Daisy running into each other outside Freshco, one of my favorite moments.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly how a guy and his barmaid at his regular pub
exactly,
would
because they know each
interact.
other.
They know each other. They know a lot about each other. They're not
But they're not friends. They don't really have a lot of in common. They have nothing in common almost, apart from a couple of physical things.
Apart from they both own
like
the Rovers.
Places. Yeah, exactly.
Didn't Steve own the Rovers at one point?
Yeah. But yeah, I thought the dialogue was true. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Okay. Bobby, Lauren, and Roy.
Whew.
So Bobby started a little appeal to try to get Lauren to either to help people find Lauren or to get Lauren to realize that she needs to come forward and say, I'm okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
And he gets an interview. I missed if it was with the Gazette or if it was with someone else. I don't know.
I'm sure it was with the Gazette.
It might have just been a blogger. Who knows these days?
Who knows? She did show up with a phone.
Yes.
But that still could be for the news.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. But also while he's doing this interview and she's like, do you know anything that could have happened? Do you know why? Bobby goes, well, Roy did just fire her recently. And then the news person was just like, Roy, who's Roy? And he's like, him right over there. So she goes,
yeah.
Roy, tell us, why did you fire Lauren?
And Roy, always good on the spot.
So Roy being Roy, he starts to look really suspicious.
He does.
Which I quite liked because Roy is an oddball.
He's an oddball. And we know his character. We know he's true. We know he's a good guy.
Do you remember when Roy was introduced on the street?
I don't. Do you?
Yes.
Go on.
Well, I partially remember it because I partially remember everything.
Okay.
He had befriended, I think it was David, when David was like 13 or something.
How weird.
And well, that's what everyone was concerned about.
Yeah.
Because everyone was like, David is hanging out with this guy.
Yeah.
I think David was going through something. Probably it was because his mom's seventh marriage was breaking down or something.
Because the guy was trying to kill the family again.
Another one of those ones. But Roy had been living, I think, with his mother.
Yeah.
Somewhere. And he got introduced and started working in the cafe, but everyone was convinced he was a pedophile or something like that because he's so awkward.
He's an awkward dude.
And they were like, why on earth would he be hanging out with a kid? And then it's like, oh, now you know Roy. It's because the kid needed an adult in his life who was stable and could give him emotional support.
Yeah. I've forgotten about that.
Yeah. But here's my question.
Okay.
Do we think Roy does know something he's not sharing? Did he maybe help her get out of town quickly? Does he maybe... does he know?
Oh, that's very interesting. I hadn't thought of that because I don't feel that Roy is in any way responsible for her disappearance. Meaning, I don't think he's done anything malicious.
Yep.
However, I like the idea that he knows about the situation. He's like, listen, I'll help you disappear for a bit.
Mm-hmm. And he's like everyone else on this street, big yakety yaks.
Yeah.
Can't tell anyone.
That's right. Yeah. No, I like that idea. I like that. Let's hope so. That's good. I like that.
All right. Ty, Fizz, Evelyn, and Cassie.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to say Fizz's hair.
Looking pretty good.
Looking fantastic.
Yeah.
Very jealous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or as I know her, the owner of Annie's in Manchester.
Yes. Your what was it? Cheese and onion pie?
Cheese and onion pie, chips, baked beans.
And you said the best.
Best food I've ever had in England. To be fair, the bar is somewhat low.
Now,
there's some good food in England.
Last week when you were back in England, you did have a Gordon Ramsay burger at Harrods.
Yeah. And he still cleans it, cleans the floor with it.
All right.
The burger, listen, Gordon, the burger was good at Gordon Ramsay's burger in Harrods. It was good. But Annie's, I'll give Gordon had the ambiance. Annie's doesn't have the ambiance.
Right.
But food, top notch.
Right.
Nice work, Fizz. In the kitchen.
So Fizz and Tyrone, because Tyrone's been with her in Italy or something for 2 weeks.
Yes.
A month. I don't know.
I still love the fact that Fizz was 2 hours away, didn't bother to come back to the kids, and left to go to Italy.
I did like that someone said, maybe Cassie, I don't know, someone said, oh, because you were in Devon. And I was like, oh, well, that's fair enough. She didn't really come back because that's quite far. And then they said, no, she wasn't in Devon. She was in Norfolk. And it's like, oh, yeah, no, that's why she was supposed to have come back.
Yeah, exactly. Craziness.
So Evelyn and Cassie had both been back in the house while Tyrone was away.
Yeah.
Because they needed the two of them to wrangle the girls. Now everyone's back, and Cassie and Evelyn are starting to realize that one of them is going to have to leave.
Yeah.
Because it's, packed like sardines in that house, like every other house in the block. So they're throwing each other under the bus as much as they can. But also both helping out as much as they can. Cassie's actually doing stuff because she wants to look good. So Tyrone and Fizz decide, you know what, we'll let them both stay for a while.
Yeah.
To stop this. But here's my question. Where are they sharing a room?
I mean, how many bedrooms are upstairs?
I think there's 3 upstairs in those houses.
There's Ty and Fizz's.
Yeah. The girls.
The girls' room. And then a third room.
But also, what's their front room used for? Because those front rooms become, like, Blanche lived in the front room.
Yes.
At
number 1.
At number 1.
Yeah, they never used their front room.
No.
Well, there's lots of room then.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's tons.
Problem solved.
Exactly.
Taking
Taking care of that storyline.
And also, with Cassie pretending to have baked those muffins.
Yes.
It reminded me of, do you remember when you came to my work do? It was a potluck for a retail store I worked at.
Oh, yeah.
And you bought a tray of frozen brownies from M&M's.
Yeah.
That were the exact same size as the lasagna dish we had.
Yeah.
You rounded the corners.
Yeah.
So that it fit in
perfectly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Told everyone you made it, and you were the hit.
I was the hit.
You were the boyfriend that had baked.
People were like saying to you, Shannon, lock that down. He's a good one. Keep him.
And I was like, he's a big fat liar. That's what he is. It's just
But that's the last comparison to me and Cassie I ever want you to make. I find her character, I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it because
it's a bit tiring.
It's tiring because she's always like a teeter on the edge of doing something wrong, even when she's got the best of intentions, which is true to life. That's not why I'm watching Coronation Street. Got enough life going on. But I find her, you're right, exactly, tiring in the sense that she just seems like I can't relax when she's on screen.
So what was the purpose of the diesel in the petrol tank storyline?
Here's what I think that,
because I have a theory too.
So here's my theory. So the story you're referring to is when Cassie had been using Ty's car all week while Fizz and Ty were in Italy, or
month or whatever
it was, and she had made a mess of it. She just full of fast food wrappers and garbage and stuff. So she was cleaning it out of the garage, and she made it spick and span, amazing, did an amazing job, but then just put diesel in as opposed to regular fuel,
petrol.
And she was like, there was no way to fix it, blah, 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 whatever. And then Kevin fixes it.
Yeah.
Comes over and says, it was my fault. I did it. It was my mistake, but it's all fixed now. There you go. You're all good.
Takes the fall
for her. I think it's going to turn into a little bit of a thing where she's going to have feelings for Kevin.
Well, I think so too. But I think, I don't know, she and Kevin have been a little close lately, and
but I can't.
And Abby keeps walking up, going,
Listen, I can't see Kevin choosing Cassie over Abby.
I mean, Kevin just is always choosing someone new.
Yeah, I know, but
he's a Gale Platt.
I mean, Abby. She's no Bethany, but.
But she's also no Sally.
She's also no Sally. Exactly.
Or what was her name? Denise?
Denise.
Or is that her real name? The one who owned the pub.
Oh.
With the short blonde hair.
Yeah.
Like a more glamorous Sally.
1950s cut almost at her hair.
No.
That was Julie.
Very 80s, 90s.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Oh, no. Way before. I thought you meant Bet.
No.
Oh, no. Anyways. All right, Eliza, Yasmeen, Stu, and Dom. So this was almost like a bit of a soft launch of a renewed Dom storyline.
Yeah.
We didn't really, I think it's just sort of being seeded in there.
Yeah, a little glimpse.
So Eliza was going with Stu to visit her mum in jail.
Yeah.
She was all grumpy with Stu and was like, he's like, oh, what do you want to listen to? And you can pick the music on the way up. And she's like, I'll probably just have headphones in.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't tell if she was stressed about going to see her mom in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
If it was because she's been in contact with Dom without telling anyone, or is she just being a grumpy teenager?
No, there's something more to it than that.
Because Yasmeen was in the precinct and saw who she thought was pretty sure was Dom getting into a car.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she told Stu about it, he said that Dom's actually not been answering his texts recently.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, first of all, I think we do presume it's Dom.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. If he's not telling anyone he's back, why go to Weatherfield?
Why is he hanging out by the ice cream shop?
Doesn't he know that park is where everyone goes now?
That's where it all goes down.
Yeah. He should just be in Victoria Gardens. No one's there these days.
Or the Red Rack.
Exactly.
No one goes to the Red Rack anymore.
Nope.
It's garbage.
Nope.
Yeah. Compared to Victoria Gardens, the precinct.
Yeah. So anyways, I don't know what's coming with that. I think that he and Eliza have been in contact, perhaps. And that's why she's grumpy. And so he's only hiding. He's just hiding from Yasmeen.
He's kind of like, I'm back, but I can't see you or something. Yeah. Jerk. No wonder Yasmeen is so uptight.
Exactly. She's just
so intense.
She's a close talker too.
She is, and she's always pleading.
Yes. Even if it's just,
but what do you want for lunch?
Yes.
What do you want for lunch?
Yes. Would you like carrots with that?
Would you like carrots? Would you? Imagine a scene between her, Yasmeen, and Michael Bailey.
Oh dear.
That'd be good, wouldn't it? Right? Ordering lunch.
Everyone would run out of breath.
Exactly. Do you want French fries? Do you want French fries?
Bethany and Daniel.
Yeah.
Brief mention.
Yeah.
So Daisy gets Bethany fired by letting the publisher know.
Fired isn't quite the right word. But
well, she's not going to get any future jobs.
A chit chat.
Chit chat.
Yeah.
Because she didn't get a release for the story.
Yes.
And Daniel goes on his high horse to her and says, how dare you? That's someone's livelihood, blah, blah, blah. And Daisy points out that Daniel was the one who outed Ryan's steroid use, ending his
career at the fitness center.
Yes. Yeah. Before it even began, which was him trying to move away from being online model.
Yes.
With whatever you call that site. And then Daisy also said, because he was saying, well, Lauren told him everything anyways. Mm-hmm. And Daisy's like, you realize Lauren was blackmailing Ryan and I.
Yeah.
So that revelation might not be, how Max keeps thinking Daniel's involved with Lauren and bad things that happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing that throws Daniel back in that mix again, I think. But more importantly, Ryan and Daisy, and Ryan is back.
Okay, let me bring this up immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did Ryan not seem like a totally different character when he came back? I know it's the same dude, but all of his mannerisms had changed so dramatically. I thought.
Oh, I didn't think so.
Oh, I did too. For absolutely, for sure. I did watching him come.
He was no longer all steroidy.
Ragey.
Yeah.
But even when he came back, I was like, gosh, he just kind of looks a little different now. Like he's carrying himself differently, which people do. People change.
It's a confidence.
Maybe that's what it is, which is good for Ryan.
Yep.
Good for Ryan.
If he keeps that top lip shaved a little closer, because he lets it get a little stubbly, he's a good looking man. But he's got to just keep it shaved.
All I keep thinking about is either the makeup person going, oh, thank God for that storyline, or saying, oh man, all the time. Gotta redo this every time.
Well, they needed to give them a job now that they don't have to spend as long on Todd's disfigurement.
For those of you who remember, Todd had a scar on his chin that was barely visible.
Here.
Oh, on his cheek. It was barely visible. And he's
white and about an inch long.
I'm ugly. You can't even look at me. Don't look at me.
I also did enjoy when Ryan went into the factory and saw Bobby and said, oh, you must be Bobby. And Bobby said, yeah, how'd you guess, Ryan? And Ryan said, well, the same way you knew I was Ryan.
Exactly. It was pretty good.
It was pretty funny. Yeah, that was good. So Carla is So excited to have Ryan back. Feels so terrible she didn't know he was on steroids. Really wants to look after him the way she always does in a clattering way. Except, oh yeah, he doesn't have a bedroom because Bobby's in his bedroom. And when Ryan didn't come back the first night because he was staying at Daisy's, like, where was his bag, Carla? Were you expecting him to stay with you?
Yeah.
On the couch?
Yeah. Nonsense. It's like they all live in a TARDIS.
So Ryan and Daisy are back together.
Mm-hmm.
Both Jenny and Carla are super unhappy about it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought a bit too much.
I think way too much.
Yeah.
Way too much.
Yeah.
Because Jenny is going to blow it. Because Jenny's all worried that it's going to come out that they essentially took the money that should have gone to Carla and used it to buy the pub.
Right.
But she's overplaying it. No one's even talking about that now. Just forget about it.
Well, but also I think what's mixed in with that is Ryan couldn't find work, and Daisy was like, just come back and work at the pub because you're not going to find anything. You can work there. And then I couldn't tell if Jenny was more irked that Ryan was working at the pub because she doesn't want Ryan and Daisy together, or if it was because Daisy just made the unilateral decision.
I think a bit of both. But I think Daisy kind of played her cards properly and sort of weaseled her way into being the publicly facing co-owner of the road.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
So I think it was fun.
But I also want to talk. So I've enjoyed, they must have new writers on.
Yeah.
Someone who's injecting a bit of humor the way people in real life make occasional jokes to each other.
They call it bants. Just bants.
Okay. All right. But Ryan was pouring a pint to see if he remembered how to pour pints, because it's been a while. Poured the first pint perfectly. And Daisy said, it's like riding a bike. And Bobby said, oh, don't put yourself down, Daisy. That was class A material.
That was one of the funniest lines on Coronation Street I've heard in years.
Yep.
It was so good because it's pretty edgy for them.
Yep.
Because they allude to sort of things like that every now and then, but they never like nail it as much as that.
Well, they never. Is that another?
It's like a Daisy joke.
They never have bedroom scenes.
No,
and never
because nobody's interested.
I mean, because they have fairly real life looking people on the show. No one wants to see that.
Yeah, if anyone, they would have gone with Tommy O.
And Tracy.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, if we're not seeing that, they're not showing us anything.
No, exactly.
All right, Liam, Dylan, and Mason. So
I am really enjoying this storyline.
Yeah, I think I am as well. So Maria and Gary, they're contemplating putting Liam in another school.
Yeah.
Then it's hard to find another school. So they go back to talk to Crawshaw, and they don't want to leave Liam home alone because they're still worried about him. Maria's still sleeping on his floor because they're worried that he's at risk still. So they bring him with them, but then they leave him out in the hallway outside the headmistress's office on his own during the school day.
Yeah.
With Mason roaming around the halls.
Yeah, that's craziness.
That was craziness. But anyway, so Mason was there, didn't see Liam, and was bullying some other little kid.
Yeah.
And then when Liam went home and he told Jake about it, I am quite enjoying seeing Liam and Jake interacting.
The brothers.
The brothers. Yeah. And he said he saw Mason bullying another kid, and Jake was like, did you tell on him or stop him or anything? And he's like, no, I'm staying out of it. I'm not telling on anyone. That kid can figure it out the same way I had to figure it all out on my own.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Jake was like, Mason carries a knife. This is something.
This is serious.
Yeah. So Jake went out and tattled like little brothers do.
As you do.
Which is good.
Yeah. He's like, what are you going to do? I'm a little brother. I'm fine.
Exactly. And told Maria and Gary about the knife, which they hadn't known about before. Zombie knife.
I don't know what that means yet.
I haven't gone to the effort of Googling it, mind you.
Exactly. We've just complained about not knowing what is that? What does that mean?
And even in my notes, I'm like, question mark, exclamation mark, question mark. Anyways, so they report this. And so the coppers show up at Dylan. And,
just random coppers?
Oh, it's Craig.
Yeah.
Which is okay. So Craig and one or two other officers show up at Eileen's and Sean's when Dylan's there.
Yeah.
Ask about the knife. Eileen, understandably extremely upset, thinking that her house has been sheltering this
Yes.
dangerous weapon.
Yeah.
But also when Sean says, aren't you going to search Mason's house? And Craig says, no, we're doing that right now.
Yeah.
Which that's the way you have to do it.
You've got to be simultaneous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then later on, Mason talks about Craig by name being the copper who was at his place searching.
That ginger copper, he says. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
No. That was a bit of a plot hole. That's also what I found funny about that thing is because Craig Tinker says, can we search your house? And they reluctantly agree to that. And then they finish the search, which is the most cursory search ever. They could have hidden the knife under the couch cushions. And they wouldn't have found it.
Did anyone search his pockets?
No. Like, literally nothing was upturned. Nothing. They just we've checked everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Also didn't seem to anyways. So it turns out that after Mason had basically, about a month or two earlier when the Liam stuff was kicking off, had forced, after the knife had been seen, said to Dylan, you're taking this knife, keep it for me. And so Mason, after the searches, showed up and said, where's the knife? Where'd you put the knife? And he's like, I'd originally hidden it at the house, but then I put it in the neighbor's backyard.
Yeah. Which
I'm surprised. Good for Coronation Street, not taking low-hanging fruit and just making, I don't know, Hope find the zombie knife or something.
Exactly. We get Hope. We can somehow train Hope to go after Mason.
Yes. Because she's smarter than Mason.
She is smarter than Mason.
Yeah. But they're both as troublesome.
Yeah.
So Mason says to Dylan, okay, we're going to meet in the precinct tomorrow and you and I will both get rid of the knife.
Yeah.
But.
Set up.
So Dylan shows up and Craig, of course, and the other coppers surround him and because they've had a tip off and they find the knife.
Yeah. And put it into the coolest evidence tube ever.
It must be impractical to carry an evidence. Oh, I guess, mind you, because it's a knife, you maybe have to have it in something.
So you can't.
You don't just cut through the bag.
You just cut through a plastic bag.
Drop it in the evidence bag and it goes.
They put this in the evidence bag. Right into their foot.
Okay. We didn't think of that.
We didn't think about that part. So far we've learned that we didn't think about the fact that the tube has a purpose for a knife. Because knives are sharp. And then also we didn't bother Googling what a zombie knife was. So we hope you're enjoying what you're paying for with this podcast, this deep dive.
Yes. See, this is why we don't charge for Substack subscriptions.
But once we figure out Google, get your wallets out.
So Dee Dee is representing Dylan, which is good. I'm tired of Adam representing everyone.
Me too.
So it's good to move on. Plus, Adam's got his own stuff going on currently.
Yeah, like his hairstyles.
Yeah, which are changing day by day. Anyways, so Dee Dee says, listen, you got to just tell the truth. And so he tells her what happened. And she's like, you have to tell the police that you're essentially scared of Mason. He forced you to do this and to take all the blame for everything. She said, I think like they seem to be believing you, like the police seem to sort of not think that you're the main concern.
Yeah.
Dylan told her that Mason had told him he'd had a previous issues with a knife, been caught with a knife. So if he gets caught again, he goes to juvie.
Yeah.
Which I think is maybe why Dylan's not afraid to speak up, because it's like, oh, if we get him on the second knife charge, he's nobody's problem anymore.
That's right.
Yeah. So he gets to go home for the night. That all looks good. But then who shows up at the house?
The Tink.
The Tink. Yes. Constable Tinker shows up again.
Yeah.
And yes, Dylan's being arrested.
Yeah. And shocked. But it's like, come on, man. This is it.
Yeah. But
anyway.
he's 15.
It's going to be all right.
I hope so.
It's going to be okay.
I hope so. Okay. And then finally, Sarah, Adam, Damon, and Harvey.
Yeah.
So Sarah shows up on what would have been her and Adam's 4th wedding anniversary, coincidentally, to get him to sign the divorce papers.
Oh, the symbolism.
I know.
Yeah.
I did also appreciate that she said to him, you just need to sign there and there. And then she was like, I guess you're a lawyer, you know that. So while he's looking that over, pics pop up on her phone from their wedding. They reminisce and she's getting a little softer.
Yeah.
And he's basically speaking regretfully.
Yeah.
About everything.
Looking brooding.
Through
his spiky bangs.
It was a fairly good hair day when he was in the office with her.
Yes.
That one?
Yeah.
And when she leaves, Adam decides he's going to do the right thing because he wants to be a better person for Sarah. So he deletes the appeal that he's about to submit for Harvey, takes the USB with the CCTV footage, drops it in an envelope, and then so he goes to anonymously drop it at the police station. But it's like he's a lawyer who shows up at the police station all the time. Exactly. Like,
hey, Adam, the lawyer.
Exactly. Or they'd say, what's the name of that Scottish lawyer that's often here?
You know, the guy with the hair.
Yeah. So I think just literally he's probably walking away from the police station and gets a call from Harvey being like, what the hell?
What the hell?
You dogged me in.
Guarantee there's somebody in the police station who's on the take.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Adam's like, nope, don't want anything to do with you. And then he runs into Sarah on the street and they're...
Good choice of words.
Thank you. Bethany comes over. The three of them are talking. Sarah's softening.
Yeah.
And car comes racing around the corner full tilt.
Yeah.
Adam shoves her and then shoves Bethany out of the way. Yeah. Good shoves, by the way.
Good shoves. Yeah, absolutely.
And then doesn't leap out of the way himself.
No.
Takes the impact of the car and is down on the ground.
Yeah.
And also while they were down there calling 911 and various things, the two of them, Sarah and Bethany, there's just people walking by in the background.
Yeah, I know. I did like the one guy who just sort of turned around and went,
Don't want to have anything to do with that.
Not get involved.
Yeah.
Looks like a domestic.
Exactly. Yeah. So he's taken to hospital. First of all, I no longer believe that Britain has CCTV everywhere.
No, because you think it would be everywhere.
Like, surely they have it out. Like, it should be outside the Rovers for fights after the pub closes.
Yes.
It should be outside the bistro to capture tram crashes in future.
The sandwich shops in our town have CCTVs outside.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, you think someone would even catch the car racing away?
Something. Yeah. Get the license plate or something.
So in the hospital waiting room, while Sarah's all, Adam is the love of my life. I can't believe he got hit by a car. Yes, I hated him yesterday, but things are different now.
Yeah.
And her phone rings and it's Damon.
Yeah.
And because she's no longer interested in Damon, she just leaves it. Is Damon not watching Harry right now? Like, who's babysitting? Who's with Harry?
Emily Bishop.
She doesn't. Yeah. It's like, I'm sure he just wanted to probably phone me about sex stuff or something.
Probably.
I don't know. Yeah. So when she gets in to see Adam and she's ready to tell him, I want to have another go at this. And Adam interrupts her and says, okay, look, I've been a bad person. Here's all the things I did. Sarah is understandably very upset.
Yeah. He's
telling her because he's like, you and Bethany and Harry need to leave town, go away. This Harvey thing is too volatile right now. And that it was actually Bethany and Sarah that Harvey was targeting. So Sarah is angry. The whole Barlow family are angry at Adam.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, again, Daniel, you pushed your elderly father down the stairs and hit him over the head with the book. So I don't think he's one to talk. But Damon's going to sort it because Damon said he's going to take care of the Harvey situation. But I feel that Harvey was also quite pleased to try to take out Sarah and Bethany to get back at Damon.
That's absolutely what he's trying to do. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think, and then he did kind of solve it. He sort of made a deal with Harvey.
Yes.
He kind of made a deal about doing some deal or something that he wanted him to do in the first
place. But he has
no
plans for how he's going to do this. So
no, not yet. But I want to say as well, as much as I love, I'm a fan of Ken.
Yes, I'm aware.
Well, love Ken Barlow.
You like the Osborne Barlow boys.
I like Ken's hair is amazing. Right? Come on. He's like 90 something years old. His hair is amazing. But I do feel like the past couple scenes with him, I think, starting to show his age a little bit, which is nothing to be ashamed of because, again, he's in his 90s.
Yeah.
But you can tell he's slowing down even a little bit more. His reactions don't necessarily mesh with what's happening in the scene.
Yes. They need to just bring him out for the birthdays, like Rita's birthday, that we forgot to talk about.
We got in trouble about in the comments because we didn't mention anything about Rita's birthday because she had a couple of zingers in those scenes.
It had made it to my handwritten notes, but not to
make it
not
typed.
Notes.
Not worth printing.
No.
Sorry, Barbara Knox. Is that her name? That's right.
Yes,
right?
I think so.
Yeah. Sorry, Barb.
Yeah.
But yeah, but you.
So what do you think we're going to be seeing more of next week?
So I think we're going to see more resolve on the Dylan Mason line.
Is Mason going to get caught? Is that supposed to be like Mason Dixon line? Really?
Yeah, the Millen Dixon line.
Okay.
Mason Dylan line.
Is Mason going to get caught?
I think we're going to find out. I think not necessarily next week, but we're going to find out more about Mason's backstory because he's a good character.
Yes.
And there's lots of room for redemption.
All you have to do is find out his horrible home life, and you might be like,
no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He can share a room with Bobby. That'll be fine.
Exactly. And I think that we're going to hear more about the Lauren storyline.
All right.
I think it's going to come out more because there's lots of potential there.
Mm-hmm.
Go in lots of different directions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was good. It was a good week because you and I, because I was away until Wednesday night, late Wednesday night, so I missed it on Wednesday. So I had to catch up, and then we watched it during the afternoon on Good Friday. All right. Yeah.
I don't even know what day of the week it is yet.
And it was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We'll catch up on CBC Gem.
Yeah. So if you subscribe to the Substack, what do you call it? The Substack channel? I don't know. What is it? Feed? Post?
Good. If you subscribe at weatherfield.ca,
subscribe, but then they're subscribing to Substack.
It's Substack and it's free to subscribe. It just means that you'll get an email notification every time I put a new episode out.
But it also means that you can comment.
And you can comment. Exactly. There's tons of comments happening.
It's lovely. People talking back and forth.
Yeah. Shannon's been jumping in more than me because I'm an idiot, but Shannon knows all the actual information. I'm just.
Well, I get a lot of my information from the people who give us the answers to the stuff that we've forgotten about.
Yeah. But I do love the fact that in the comments, though, what's been really great is that the amount of people that are saying, I'm the only person in my household that watches.
Coronation Street orphans. Yeah. I call them.
Exactly.
Yep.
And just saying how grateful they are to be able to talk about this and chat about it.
How grateful they are for you. Isn't that lovely? Stew. Stew. That's
Bobbly, jibbly, blobbly, jibbly, boobly.
All right, play us out.
Okay, we're going to do the theme song. Here it comes. I played that theme song for my mother. She was very impressed.
No. Yeah. Your mother thought that her golden boy had done something impressive.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of praise from
her. No, it's hard to imagine.
Yeah, and she was impressed.
Yeah,
it's like, finally, I said, mother, finally I've gained your respect. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening and or watching. And remember to subscribe, weatherfield.ca, and of course at all your favorite podcast platforms. And if you'd like us to talk about something, go ahead. I think we should get a guest at some point now as well. Like Snoop Dogg. Let's see if we get Snoop Dogg. He apparently loves Coronation Street.
Listen, it was hard enough when you and I were in different countries with our same old computers to be able to figure out how to make it work.
We did great. The last episode was really good. We did really well that way. Considering I was in London and you were here. Yeah, it's good. Thanks. See ya.